Hi, ladies and gentlemen, fellow traders. Welcome to another episode of Weekly Forex Outlook with Chart Engineering Pro. We really appreciate you for taking the time to watch this video, and we do not take it for granted at all. If you haven't yet subscribed or you are new to this channel, kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any content we post here. And if you also find value with what we share here, be sure to like, drop your comments, share your view. Share this video to your fellow traders or anyone who would find this information useful. We'll also drop a link to the free Telegram group where we'll be sharing updates of these setups as the week unfolds. Without wasting much time, let's have a quick recap of last week's setups discussed in our previous video before we dive into next week's analysis, so stay tuned. We have here CADJPY. So as of last week, we were expecting price to pull back to give us a possible right shoulder to give us an entry to take this trade to the downside. So we had our entry, I think, here. After price pulled back into the area we were expecting it to sell, we got this nice triple top. So we took our entry somewhere here, and then our SL was above this structure points, and currently price is moving in our direction as we expected. So we're going to continue to hold this trade until our first TP and our second TP. So we're going to continue holding this trade. We also have here GBPCHF. So GBPCHF too, we got a structural shift, and we identified a new area of interest where we saw price retesting and giving us a nice rejection candle on the 4-hour time frame, and it gave this bearish engulfing candle after the rejection candle was formed. So later during the London session, we got an entry around here and we took this sell. So we're also going to continue to hold this trade to the various TPs we have below here. Let's see what we have for the economic calendar for the coming week. So on Monday, there's a bank holiday for the Chinese Chinese yuan, and then CAD, and then USD bank holidays. I think the Chinese have their spring festival, so it's actually going to run through the week. And Tuesday, we're going to have the claimant count change for the GBP and CAD CPI later in the day on Tuesday. Wednesday, we're still going to have the Chinese bank holiday running through the week. So in the early hours of the session, I think the Asian session, we're going to have the NZD official cash rate and the monetary policy statement. This is a very high impact news, and we need to take caution of that if you're holding any NZD pair around that time. Later in the morning, we're going to have the GBPCAD, and the evening we're going to have the FOMC meeting minutes. And on Thursday, there's a AUD employment change or unemployment rates, more like the NFP for the AUD, and we're going to have the governor of Bank of New Zealand speak later that night on Thursday. On Friday, we have the GBP retail sales in Euro, and we have the various flash PMIs on Friday. And later on Friday, we're going to have the advanced GDP for the USD, and then a core PCE price index, and the flash manufacturing PMI for USD. Let's look at what we have for the coming week. We have DXY here. So last week we were anticipating that price was going to break this daily structure and give us a possible lower high formation or a possible right shoulder and give us a continuation to the downside. We had this strong momentum on Monday, and we are expecting price to either retest this daily structure or pull back into this zone once again and give us something like a possible double top before we look out for our sales to the downside. So going into next week, we are looking forward to a possible pullback to retest this daily structure point and look for a possible entry to sell to the downside, or should price pull back into the area of interest once again, we'll be interested in looking for selling opportunities to take the sell to the downside. So this is our TP or our target we have below right here. So we are very bearish on DXY for the coming week. We have here EURUSD, and EURUSD last week we were anticipating that price was going to pull back a bit deeper into this zone to give us a reversal pattern, but the momentum was very strong on Monday and we didn't get an opportunity. So what we're going to look out for is to see price retest this daily structure, waiting for a possible retest of this daily structure point, and look for buying opportunities from here and take it to the upside to the various targets or the targets we have above here. Should price pull back into the area of interest and give us some reversal patterns or buying confirmations, we will still be glad to take our buys from this zone if price makes its way back into the zone again. So we are very bullish on EURUSD for the coming week. This can only shift bearish if we break this zone and continue to the downside. This is GBPUSD, and GBPUSD has also has retested or has mitigated the area of interest that we anticipated it to mitigate, and currently we are looking forward to a possible daily structure shift here. So these are the options or the possible scenarios you're looking out for GBPUSD. Should price give us a shift, should we get a daily structure shift here, we'll wait for a possible higher low formation and we'll look for buying opportunities to the upside. Or should price pull back a bit deeper, so this is the first scenario. So the second scenario, should price pull back a bit deeper into the zone to give us something like a double bottom formation, we will be glad to look for buying opportunities and take it to the upside. So we have two targets above here which we'll be looking out for GBPUSD. So we are very bullish on GBPUSD for the coming week. We have here USDCAD. USDCAD was developing or is developing a possible butterfly pattern, and last week we were anticipating a shift, a daily structure shift here to get a possible retest for a selling opportunity to the downside. So currently price is making its way back to the daily structure to give us a retest of the daily structure, or so we are almost there, we are almost retesting the daily structure. Or should price pull back into this zone once again and give us a selling opportunity, we will be glad to take the sell to the downside. So we are very bearish on USDCAD for the coming week. This is USDJPY, and currently JPY index is strengthening, so we might see some strength in the JPY pairs for the coming week. So going into next week, we are looking forward to a possible pullback into this zone to give us a selling opportunity to these targets we have below for USDJPY. Should price pull back a bit higher to the second zone above, we will still be interested in looking for the selling opportunities to the downside for USDJPY. This can only shift extremely bullish if price clears these structures and continues to the upside. Until then, we are very bearish on USDJPY. Sorry. This is AUDUSD. So AUDUSD is currently very bullish. So going into next week, we are looking for it to a pullback, a deeper pullback into this area of interest to look for buying opportunities to the targets we have above. Should price pull back to the second zone below, we'll still be interested in looking for the buying opportunities to the upside. This can only shift bearish if we get a daily candle close or clear this daily structure. We get a daily candle close below this and comes for a retest and continues to the downside. Until then, we are extremely bullish on AUDUSD. We have here GBPJPY, and so for GBPJPY, price has currently shifted very bearish, both on the weekly and a daily perspective. So going into next week, we'll be looking for a possible pullback to this area of interest and look for selling opportunities to the targets we have, the two targets we have below here. Should price break above this zone and clear these daily structures above and continue to the upside, then we would shift bullish on GBPJPY. But currently, the weekly perspective and the daily and the 4-hour is all bearish now, so it will be right for us to look for bearish moves for GBPJPY. We also have the EURJPY, which has also clearly shifted bearish on the weekly and the daily perspective. So all we are going to look out for is a possible pullback to this area of interest and look for selling opportunities to the downside. Should price pull back a bit higher to the second zone above, we'll still be interested in looking for the selling opportunities to the downside. This can only shift bullish if we get price break above these daily structures and continue to the upside. Until then, we are looking for bearish moves on EURJPY. and actually on all the JPY pairs. So this is CADJPY. So we're also going to look forward to this pullback, a retest of this area of interest, and look for selling opportunities to the downside. So these two targets we have below, should price pull back a bit higher to this zone, we'll still be interested in looking for the selling opportunities. This will shift bullish if we get a daily candle break above this structure point and continue to the upside. So we are actually very bearish on all the JPY pairs. We also have NZDJPY here. We are waiting for a possible pullback to this zone, this area of interest. We look for selling opportunities to the downside. So we are extremely bearish on NZDJPY. Should price violate this bearish moves and price breaks above or clears these daily structures and creates a bullish momentum, these will be our various targets for the bullish side for NZDJPY. But we would rather look out for the sells for this week than the buys. This is EURGBP. So EURGBP, these are the possible scenarios we have. We're anticipating that price, even though price shifted bullish on the daily perspective here after breaking these daily structure points over here, we're anticipating that price is going to break this one as well, but we just had a rejection from that structure point. So going into next week, we have two scenarios, both the bearish side and the bullish side. So we look at the bearish side first. Should we get a daily candle close or a daily structure shift here, and we get a possible pullback to give us a possible low high formation or a possible right shoulder, then we'll be looking out for sales to the downside. We'll look out for sales to these various targets we have below, and the ultimate target will be this zone below right here for EURGBP. So on the bullish side, we are also likely going to see price create a possible right shoulder. So this is the possible inverted and shoulder formation. This is the left shoulder, this is the head, and we are waiting for the formation of the possible right shoulder, then we take our buy to the upside. So going into next week, for the bullish side, should we get a pullback into this zone once again, and we look for and we get bullish confirmations or we see bullish reactions from here, we'll be glad to take our buys from here to give us the possible right shoulder formation, and we get price to break above this possible neckline. So if we're not able to catch the buys within this zone and price makes its way to break the neckline here, then we'll be looking out for a possible retest of the neckline, and we'll continue the buys to the upside, and it's going to give us a possible harmonic pattern formation actually. So we'll be looking out for that. So this is the bullish side for EURGBP, and then the bearish side has been explained earlier. So let's look out for these possibilities for the coming week. So let's give price some time to develop, then we can take our decisions on GBP. Sorry, we have here GBPCAD, and GBPCAD is currently shifting bullish on the daily perspective on an area of interest. So if you look at the closing prices, the price has actually shifted, but it's not very strong. So going into next week, we'll be looking forward to a further break or a further daily candle closure above this structure points. We look forward to a possible higher low formation, and we look for buying opportunities to the upside, or we'll wait for price to create a possible right shoulder, a possible low high formation, wait for a break above this, and we'll look out for the retest of the neckline of this and possible inverted and shoulder formation right here, and we'll take the buys to the upside. This is actually the daily time frame. So let's look at the 4-hour. So the 4 hours, you can see we have a possible left shoulder and a head, and we're waiting for a possible right shoulder formation, and we'll take our buys to the upside. So we are very bullish on GBPCAD. This can only shift bearish if price breaks below this zone and clears this daily structure we have here and continue to the downside. So we are currently bullish on GBPCAD for the coming week. This is GBPNZD, and GBPNZD is very bearish now, both on the weekly and the daily perspective and 4-hour as well. So going into next week, we'll be looking out for a possible pullback into this area of interest. We're looking for a possible pullback into this area of interest. Then we'll look out for selling opportunities to these various targets we have below here. Should price make its way a bit higher to the second zone above, we'll still be glad to look out for selling opportunities to the downside. So we are very bearish on GBPNZD for the coming week. We have your AUDNZD. So for AUDNZD, last week we anticipated that price was going to pull back to these two zones we have here to give us buying opportunities to the upside. Price never pulled back to those areas and gave us a new structure. So going into next week, we are looking for it to pull back into this area of interest we have, this very first one. Then we look for buying opportunities to the upside. Should price also pull back all the way back into the two zones we were looking out for from the previous weeks, we'll still be glad to look out for the buying opportunities from these zones as well and take it to the upside. So we just have to be patient to see how price develops when it approaches any of these zones from next week. So these are our targets we have for the coming week. We have here silver. So silver is currently reacting from an area of interest, and we are looking for a possible daily structure shift here. Should we get a daily structure shift here, that would be like a possible inverted shoulder formation. Then we look for a neckline retest, and we take it to the upside. We take the buy to the upside, or possibly see or wait for a possible all-time high formation again. So we will patiently wait for price to break above this daily structure point. We are looking for a daily candle to close above this daily structure point and give us like a possible retest and to the upside, because how price is developing here looks like the right shoulder is already developing. Should we get a momentum from here to the upside, then we will have an inverted shoulder formation that has already been created. So this is the left shoulder, this is the head, and we are looking for the possible right shoulder which is developing here, and then we'll take our buys to the upside. So we are extremely bullish on silver for the coming week. So this can continue bearish if we get price to break below and come for retest and continue to the downside. But until then, we are extremely bullish for silver for the coming week. We have here Ukoil. So last week we anticipated that price was going to pull back to this area of interest to give us buying opportunities. Price didn't come or didn't make its way there. So going into next week, we are still going to look at the same setup. We are waiting for price to retest this zone and to give us a clean bullish momentum or clean bullish opportunities from either this zone or the second zone below. Then we look out for the buying opportunities to the upside. So these are various targets we have above. Should price make its way here and we get the buying opportunity to the upside. So we are bullish for Brent crude oil or the Ukoil. We have here S&P 500, and currently it looks like there's no proper correlation between the indexes currently. So for S&P 500 and a weekly and a daily perspective, it has shifted bearish. But looking at the S&P is more of a bullish market. So taking shorts, we have to be very careful when we look out for shorts on this particular index or S&P 500. So going into next week, should price pull back to this zone to give us selling opportunities, we'll be glad to look for selling. We'll be glad to take the sells from here to this zone we have below. That is, if price pulls back and then gives us the selling opportunities, then we'll look out for the sells to the downside. If price also makes its way above or breaks above this zone and clears these daily structures above and continues to the upside, then we'll still be looking out for the bullish side of things for S&P 500. This is NASDAQ, and last week we anticipated that price was going to shift. We're going to get a 4-hour shift here. So we currently had that 4-hour shift. Price has pulled back, and we are looking out for a possible higher low formation, which might probably be what we are seeing here. So we are going to wait to see if price is going to develop or give us maybe a reversal pattern in the double bottom or an inverted shoulder around here. Give us more confirmations to look for buying opportunities to take our buys to the upside. So we're just going to wait patiently to see how price develops. These are various targets we have above, and to see the bearish side, if price values this zone and breaks below the daily candle, then we would have completely shifted bearish on NASDAQ. This is US 30. US 30 is giving us a very nice bullish movement. So currently price has pulled back to this very first area of interest. So we're going to wait patiently to see if we are going to get clean bullish opportunities from this zone. If we get an inverted head and shoulder, a double bottom, or any nice momentum we get from here, we'll be glad to take our buys from here, from this very first zone to the target we have above here. Should price pull back a bit deeper to the second zone below, we'll still be glad to take the the buys from here as well. But then for the bearish side, if we get a daily candle close below this zone and breaks below and comes for a retest and continues to the downside, then we would have shifted bearish for US 30 or the Dow Jones. We have Russell 2000 or US 2000. So last week we had this daily structure shift here, for which we were looking out for a possible pullback or a possible higher low formation to give us buying opportunities to the upside. Price has now given us the lower high from a possible lower high formation. So going into next week, we'll be looking out for buying opportunities from here to these two targets we have above here. So dropping down to the 4-hour time frame, we'll be looking out for a higher low formation or maybe a double bottom formation, whichever opportunity presents itself to us. We'll be looking out, we'll patiently wait and see how price develops, and we take our opportunities from here, our buying opportunities from here to the various targets we have above. So for Russell 2000, it's extremely bullish now. So we are going to be more interested in the buys than the sells for Russell 2000. This can only shift bearish if price breaks below the second zone we have below here and continues to the downside on. So then we are extremely bullish for Russell 2000. We have German 30. So last week on German 30, we were anticipating price to shift bullish, which we have a nice reaction here. We had a clean daily structure shift here, and we are currently seeing a possible higher low formation, or should I say right shoulder? Yeah, a possible right shoulder formation. This is looking like an inverted head shoulder. This is like the head, the left shoulder, and sorry, the left shoulder. And this is the head. This entire move is the head, and we are looking for a possible right shoulder formation, and we'll take that buy to the upside right here. So we are extremely bullish on German 30. Sorry. So currently we have price reacting from the first zone, and should we get this 4-hour structure shift here, should we get this 4-hour structure shift here, and we get a possible higher low formation or a possible pullback or a possible right shoulder, we'll be glad to take our buys from here to the upside. Or should price pull back a bit deeper, this is the second scenario. Should price pull back a bit deeper into the zone and give us some bullish confirmations from here, we'll be glad to take our buys to the upside from this very zone we have here to the various targets we have above. So we are extremely bullish for on German 30 for the coming week. So I think the last for the week is Bitcoin. So as of last week, we were anticipating that price was going to pull back to this area of interest around 78,000 to 86,000 zone to give us a continuation to around 58,000 to 46,000. So worst case scenario around 35,000. So going into next week, we are looking for a possible pullback into this zone. Then we will look for selling opportunities from either here or the second zone above, and we take the sells to the downside. So we are extremely bearish on BTC USDT for now. Thank you so much for sticking through to the end of this video. I appreciate you for your time, and now I entreat all of us to apply proper risk management to our trades. Let's all trade safe and sound, and I wish all of us a very profitable week ahead of us, and just take good care of yourselves. Don't forget to like and drop your comments, share your views as well, and check the free Telegram group link out in the description of this video, so you can get updates on the setups we share here on the weekly Forex Outlook. Thank you so much and have a wonderful time. Bye bye.